I don't think anyone should mistake this season as anything other than the San Antonio Spurs are tanking. Popovich is in on it. It's perfectly fine.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so I came across this article in which it was basically asking the question that everyone is wondering. Is Popovich in on the tank? Yes, Popovich is in on the tank. So we're going to look through this article. Quite a few people give their take as far as all of these weird San Antonio Spurs injuries and if they're real injuries. Now, before we do, if you guys want to support the channel, Clan the Merch Fan, this is actually a new drop. So if you guys dig this one, hey, please pick it up, man. It's not one of those that I have to print many out for. I got plenty of copies of this already, so if you guys want to get this one, they got plenty in stock. But yeah, anything else you're gonna be waiting, but this one, it's there if you guys want to support. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. What to make of all the Spurs injuries? Woo. Have the Spurs been sitting players to tank, or have they had terrible injury luck? It's probably a little bit of both. Also, can I just bring this up really quickly? If anyone's wondering whether or not Pop is tank, Pop understands what the San Antonio Spurs needs, okay? Before the season even started, and I know that I do so many videos till it's kind of hard to catch them. Like, honestly, I can't even go back and find some of the things that I've talked about. But I did do a video, I remember, in which Popovich basically said, before the season even started, he said, hey, this season we need a star. In order for you to do anything, you need a superstar. And we all know the Spurs do not necessarily have the assets to go after a superstar. Now you can throw out all your first round picks right now and try to get you a star, but what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with a LaMarcus Aldridge situation. We're going to end up in a DeMar DeRozan situation, and it's just not going to work. These players are great players. They're stars in their own right, but we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to be a mediocre team that makes the playoffs, gets bounced, and eventually those stars leave. So when Popovich says we need a superstar, obviously he's talking about the draft, obviously, okay? And the only way to do that is to lose a bunch of games. So here's the question. This is some people's viewpoints on this. Do you think all the players that have missed time for the Spurs this season have had real injuries, or do you think that they have kept some guys out to tank? So Maryland says, my general thought process has been that, with a few exceptions, if a player suddenly misses one random game with a mysterious injury like Keldon Johnson in Houston, it's a strategic injury. Devin Vassell's random rest games makes sense with his finicky knee, and obviously Jakob Poeltl's knee, Jeremy Sohan's quad, yes, that was a real one, and Zach Collins' leg, to name a few off the top of my head, were not fake. But overall, the Spurs are definitely using any little bump or bruise, conceived or otherwise, to their advantage. They're real, of course, but maybe they're injuries that players would play through on a contending team. Yes, we don't have to read all this. There's likely some middle ground between all the injuries being legitimate and the team exercising a higher degree of caution and patience thanks to winning not being atop of their list of priorities. True. The injuries that have required players to miss significant time are undeniably real, but it's impossible to be confident that the rest of the absences have been strategic to a degree. But yeah, look, I agree with all this. Okay, there's nothing here. You see, who has benefited the most from the opportunities to play created? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Look. This is the question I want to focus in on. What's my take on this? I think a lot of them are fake. I think a lot of them are just excuses to sit players. And as you guys remember, let me take you back in the Wayback Machine here. Tim Duncan missed Sunday's night's game because he's old officially. Now this absolutely pissed off the NBA. If you guys remember this time, NBA was absolutely pissed at the San Antonio Spurs. We were constantly getting in trouble for the way that we rested players, and it got to a point where Popovich couldn't even find any reasons to sit Tim Duncan anymore. So what did he put on there? He just put old. As you can see here, let me see, can I make this bigger? Let's open this image in another. Yeah, look at this. So you can see here, did not play old, literally. And this wasn't the first time he did this. Well, this might have been the first time he did it, maybe, I'm not sure. But this wasn't the only time he did this. He did this all the time, in which he would put Manu Ginobili, yeah, he's just a little, he's just old. He just needs some rest. Tim Duncan, just flat out, he's an old man. So the Spurs were doing this, And it was just funny. Now, no one that was a Spurs fan cared because we were winning championships, obviously, but the NBA as a whole was not happy. And I do understand that to a degree, especially if you have like a fan coming from, because a lot of fans will come from like China. You come from China, you travel all the way down to see Tim Duncan, your favorite player in the world, and he doesn't play. Like that's hurtful. That sucks. And he didn't play because he's old. Now, as a fan, I was perfectly fine with it. But then again, I don't have to like travel huge distances to see Tim Duncan. I'm from Memphis. Okay. So in Memphis, I can see Tim Duncan at least 2 times a year. I have 2 times out of the year in which I'll get an opportunity to see him for the most part. Okay. Sometimes I can travel, see him, maybe in Atlanta or something like that. But overall, I had plenty of opportunities. So I understand that a lot of people were pretty hurt by this, especially if you have to travel long distances. But me personally, I didn't care because we were winning so many games. But with that being said, yeah, you can't do that anymore. You can't say, oh, I'm just sending him out for no reason, or I'm sending him out so he can go play Xbox. You can't even make jokes like that anymore. It has to be a legitimate reason. So I'm pretty sure the way that Popovich is going about this is he's asking Devin Vassell, maybe with a little wink here and there, like, hey, you're how your knee feeling? It's feeling kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, I don't mean to lead you on, but it's feeling kind of shaky, right? And Devin Vassell was like, you know what? Yeah, Pop, it is feeling a little shaky. All right, we're going to sit you, I'm pretty sure that's how they're kind of going about this. And obviously, it's because Popovich is in on the tank, okay? He's not necessarily trying to win game. It seems like every single time, and it might just be me, but it feels like every single time the Spurs win a game, it's for morale, okay? It's like once the team starts looking a little shaky or a little sad, and it's like, all right, let's try to get us a couple wins in just to keep that morale up. That's what I've noticed, but I could be wrong. But a lot of these games, like for instance, you can see here, we were resting quite a few players, quite a few injuries or whatnot. But you can see right here, when we got into the month of December, butt whooping by the Pelicans, huge butt whooping by the Phoenix Suns. I mean, oh my God, beat us by like 40 points. Was that 40? Is that 42? 38? I don't know. I'm bad with math. Yeah, it's like 30. Like they killed us by like 40 points. Okay, and then it's like, all right, let's play our play. Let's try to get some W's. Okay, so that's just kind of how it feels right now. And it's more so morale based than anything, and not necessarily we're trying or going out of our way to win some games. So I think that's the right approach. I'm still not crazy about some of the rotations, especially with the veterans. As of late, it hasn't been a ton of that, but I'm just not crazy about it. I want some trades to happen. Obviously, it doesn't happen like so quickly right now, and when the season goes on, more so like right at the middle of the season, we'll get some more. But yeah, I need some. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point. But yes, to answer the question of the article, yes, I think that he's doing it on purpose. I think a lot of these injuries aren't real. The ones that's extended amount of time, I think, are real. But for the most part, no. This is obviously to develop players, and this is obviously to lose some games. So Pop is in on it. That's a good thing. I'll get with you guys later. If you want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, or become a Patreon YouTube member, only $2 per month. I'll get with you guys later, man. I appreciate all the love. Until next time.